I told you guys I was going to have some type of music to introduce me, and we did a little play with it today. So, welcome back to another episode of You Were Meant for More. I'm your host, Francina Ayala, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Thank you for being here. I have so much love and grace and opportunity to be able to share with you all in today's message, and I am excited to share with you today because this had such an impact on my life, and I know it's going to have an impact on yours, no matter where you're at, what you struggled with, and how you get to share your mess and make it a message. So, and of course, turning your pain into your purpose. So I'm excited to jump in, and let me go ahead and pull up my notes because you guys know I'm all about the notes. And so we are going to dive into something that makes you a little bit uncomfortable at first, but stick with me because this could be the episode that changes everything for you. So today's topic is turning your mess into your message and transforming pain into your purpose. So a little bit about me. Let me go ahead and share. You guys, I'm telling you, I got multiple cameras going on at once, and I'm just going back and forth and everything. So I want to know, how many of you have actually felt like this before? So let me make sure I am on this right. So how many of you felt like this before? Share with me if you're live or if you're catching the replay and you've just felt like you're just done. You're like tired, you're exhausted, you feel depressed, and just everything is just going array. Yep. Get it? I get it. I've been there. I've been there actually multiple times. And so I understand. And that's why it's so important for you to stick with me on this. So maybe it was a devastating breakup, a business failure, a health scare, or a moment you felt completely lost and broken. Yeah. So you got that moment? I know I do. I've had multiple moments with that. Because here's what I want you to know, that your mess, that mess you're thinking about, it's not your mistake. It is your message that is waiting to be born. Yes. And I always tell people this. I'm like, no matter what struggle it is you're going through in your life, there's a reason and there is something that you get to do to turn it into your purpose. I know it sounds crazy because in the moment you don't feel that way and it hurts and it's awful and you just want to hide under a rock. Yep, been there multiple times. I know this because I've lived it. Single mom at 17, struggling to make ends meet, feeling like I was drowning in my own story. And I spent years thinking my mess disqualified me from success, from helping others, from being worthy of more. But here's the plot twist. That mess became the very foundation of everything I do today. It became my message, my mission, and my power. So if you're ready to stop running from your story and start running with it, let's dive in. All right. If you don't know already, this is me. So I'm going to share a little bit about me.
Guess what? You're not in it alone, because there's tons of women out there that are struggling just like you, who want to be there to support you.
All right, I had to share that. If you don't know, that is actually my son introducing me. I was 17 and pregnant or 17 and a mom, I should say, giving birth to him. And so the fact that he's at every single conference and summit that I've hosted is just pure joy to me, because I get to share this message and because I get to share my own struggle with so many of you and to know that you're not alone. And if you don't know already, we have a conference that's coming up at the end of September 27th. And so I want you to grab the details here and join us. You have no idea. I have some powerful speakers lining up for you all, because we are going to change the trajectory of so many people's lives at that event. And I'm just incredibly focused. And I'm like, all right, God, I am listening. I am listening to you. And so it is a mission. It is driven, and it is very focused and intentional. So definitely don't miss out. There's opportunity for VIP seats and general admission, and I don't want you to miss out. So grab that link below. And of course, you all know that I love to be able to coach on so many different levels, women and men all over the world. And that's why I give you the opportunity to connect with me. Go to francinaayala.com/meant for more. If you're just tired of the rat race, you're tired of running in circles, and you know that you were meant for more, and I want to help you get there. So let's have a conversation to see if we're a good fit, and I can't wait to be that support system for you. All right, so who's here with us live? Hey, Will, how are you? Here we go. Hey. Are those little high waving hands? Those are cute, actually. Thank you for joining live. I appreciate you. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into this, you guys. I want to be able to share so much value with you and make sure I am good on time. Perfect. All right, here we go. So let's start with some real talk. We live in a world that loves highlight reels and perfect Instagram posts. Yes, been there. Yes, I have too. We've been conditioned to believe that our struggles are something to be ashamed of. Yep. Hidden away or quickly moved past. So it's like somebody's struggling and it's like, oh, we just have to kind of keep it to ourselves. But what if I told you that your mess is actually messy? It isn't mess. Sorry, your mess isn't actually messy at all. Sorry, my words stumbling all over there. What if it's exactly what someone else needs to hear and to know? That they're not alone. Because I know when I shared mine, I had so many women reach out and be like, I thought I was the only one. How many times have you heard that? See, here's what I've learned after coaching hundreds of women, that we all have a story. Every single one of us has been through something that tried to break us. The difference between those who thrive and those who just survive isn't that they avoided the mess. It's that they learned how to alchemize it. Your mess is actually made up of 3 things. You ready? If you're taking notes, here you go. Number 1, your pain points, the moments that hurt the most. Number 2, your breakthrough moments, when you choose to keep going. And number 3, your wisdom gained, what you learned that you can now teach others. So now I know that some of you are thinking, but Francine, my story isn't inspirational. It's just painful. Or who am I to help others when I'm still trying to figure out myself? That was my personal biggest limiting belief. Who was I to help others when I'm trying to figure out my own stuff? When I'm trying to figure out who I am? But see, the thing is, so many of us don't realize that in the process that we're growing, we are still inspiring and speaking to others. So show up, be consistent, just know people are watching. In the beginning, when I started in this online space and as an entrepreneur, I just started talking. I just started sharing. And people started reaching out. Like, I remember the beginning was so hard because nobody reached out and I felt very alone. But I was just like, okay, well, I'll just keep posting and I'll keep sharing my inspirational quotes. And then before you know it, people started to react. You have no idea who's watching. People are constantly watching you, and you have no idea that is even, that you're even inspiring people. So keep doing it, keep showing up for those who are struggling in a space that you were once at, and you get to share that experience with them because you're ultimately saving somebody else. Hey, Rico, how's it going? Thank you for joining. Appreciate you guys. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into more. This is where we need to make a massive mindset shift from victim to victor. So the victim always asks, why me? Why did this happen to me? A victor always says, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to help others? The victim sees their story as something that happened to them, while the victor sees their story as something that happened for them. This doesn't mean we minimize the pain or pretend everything, happens for a reason. Some things are just hard. And I mean, yes, I am that person that things do happen for a reason. Things do process in our lives for us to grow, for us to understand, for us to no longer stay stuck. So I'm always pushing people no matter what, because guess what? I've been through that ugly, deep depression type of pain. And it's awful. And I wish that upon not even people that dislike me. I don't wish it on anybody. You know where they say I don't wish it on my worst enemy? I don't have enemies. It's the thing is, if there's people that don't like me, that's fine. That's their ultimately, it's within them. It's not me. It has nothing to do with me. But we get to choose what we do with that pain. And that's what's so important. We can either let it define us or we can let it refine us. And so the alchemy of transformation is where it's at, right? So how do we actually turn our mess into our message? How do we transform pain into purpose and power? Well, it starts with understanding that your pain has a purpose, and not because someone decided you needed to suffer, but because you get to decide what that suffering creates. You still with me? So I want to share something really quick. So I want you to think about a diamond. So think about a diamond. It starts as a carbon, just a regular old carbon, but under intense pressure and heat, it transforms into something precious, something that catches the light and reflects it back even brighter. So your mess is your carbon. Your healing journey is the pressure, and your message, that's your diamond. And here's the process. Step number 1, own your story. You can't transform what you won't acknowledge. This means getting honest about what happened, how it affected you, and where you are now. Not to live in it, but to learn from it. So who was that person that was struggling? Who was that person that felt the depths of that pain? Are you still that same person, or have you evolved? Step number 2, find the lesson in every experience. In every experience, it teaches us something. Maybe it taught you resilience. Maybe it taught you compassion. Maybe it taught you what you don't want in your life. I know so many times it taught me that. It taught me about who I get to be and the person I get to show up as, so that I attract the people that I want in my life. The lessons are always there. We just have to be willing to see it. So step number 3, identify your unique wisdom. What do you know that you didn't know before? What would you tell someone going through this, what you went through? And this is where your message lives. Because how do you get to show up as a support system for them? Step 4, share your story. This doesn't mean you have to write a book or start a podcast, although you can definitely do that. It means being willing to be authentic about your journey when it can really help someone. How are you feeling about that? Are you in your emotions? Are you in your feelings of like, yeah, what I went through wasn't fun, and I'm not ready to share? Or you're ready to share with somebody who you can support? Because we're all here to help we're all here to help one another in some way, shape, or form. So let me give you an example from my own life. My mess was becoming an entrepreneur 7 years ago, not knowing how to run a business, you guys, to have the confidence in myself to do so, or even how to manage my finances around it. I felt lost, struggled financially, battled depression for the second time in my life. And for years, I saw this as my biggest failure, that basically I let others down. So anybody else suffer from fear of failure? Fear of failure, anyone? Fear of failure? You can drop it in the comments. You're catching this live. You're catching this on replay. Any of you deal with fear of failure? Yeah, that was like my biggest one. I did not want to fail. I was embarrassed. I was like, who am I to be showing up and then failing in front of these people? Like, oh, you know? But guess what? I failed multiple times on my face, multiple times, and I kept getting back up. So you know, what's funny about this is I saw people leave. Like, you know, I have a whole women empowerment community, if you don't know that. And I saw women drop off left and right. They dropped off. And I remember I felt so defeated. Oh, I'm failing them. I'm failing them. But so many stayed. So many stayed. Now, granted, they could have stayed to see me become a mess and fall over all over myself. What is she going to do next? Could I see her fall again? I'm just kidding. But no, it's ultimately the ones that stayed saw me grow. They saw me thrive. And now they're just like, I mean, they're like one of my biggest cheerleaders. They're just like, I've seen you from the beginning. And when people say that to me, I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like, I'm sorry. You saw from the beginning. But guess what, guys? That's real. That's authentic. And that's why my community is so powerful, because there's women there that know the struggle, that know the pain, and men too. And they still cheer me on all the way. And I'm grateful for it. All right. All right, Rico, what you got? How can we share a story without taking away the spotlight from them, like turning it back on us? Does that make sense? So it depends on the situation. If somebody is sharing their story with you, and great question, by the way, if they're sharing their story with you and you're a listening ear, and this is where it's hard to, like, because I used to do this. People would share with me and I'd be like right away, oh yeah, but oh yeah, but you know, and you want to stumble over them because you want to help them really fast. And it's like, you actually have to sit and listen to what it is that they're struggling with, you know, and then you offer feedback. So like sometimes people just want to be able to vent. We call it like, I just want to be able to share. I just want to vent and just have somebody listen. And there are times when we go through that, and that's okay. So you have to understand the balance of letting someone vent and just share their like frustration and emotions. And then you can turn, when they're done, you know, you can ask them, you know, can I offer some feedback? That is the best way you can handle it. Can I offer some feedback? And if they say, you know, yeah, sure, you know, just like, I just want to share, and you come from a place of empathy. I just want to share that you're not alone, that I've been in your shoes. I understand that pain. And if it's okay, I'm going to share my story briefly with you. And this is how it came about. So it's like when people understand that you're empathetic to their needs, to their pain, they're more willing to sit and listen. So it just all depends on the situation and the person. Sometimes a lot of people will carry so much anger, so much frustration within them, has nothing to do with you, has everything to do with what they're going through. So sometimes, like I said, you just got to be a listening ear. But I love that. Great question. Thank you, Rico. I hope that helped. Let me know if that helped you. But failing is a step to advancing. Yes, it is. So fail forward. Like we talk about this, fail forward as often as possible, because it is going to help you grow and learn and understand that it is a process that you get to go through, because you're getting to your next level in life, in career, in business, whatever that may look like in your situation. And let alone building up a better character and stronger being than before. Yes, absolutely. That's the process. You know, as we build this resilience, I got to share with you guys. Okay, really quick. I don't know if I look different to any of you if you've been watching for a while, but my hair decided it wanted to go left instead of right. It always goes right, just so you know. It always goes this way. But today, my hair decided, nope, I want to be different. I want to stand out. So guess what? Things are going to happen in our lives where we have to pivot. And we go with the flow, right? We go with that flow of pivot, and you're like, okay, well, my hair wanted to do its thing, and you know, it's doing its thing. So we get to show up in such a place of grace, you know, and love and compassion for ourselves and for the world. All right, the quick pro quo for one another. Yes, exactly. All right, and then Rico, Got it. Thank you. You're welcome. I'm glad actually that was very helpful because it's needed. We all need to know, like, how do I approach this situation? And I appreciate you for asking because it helps us better understand us as a person and other people, because it really is about understanding where people are coming from, where they're at, and how we can support them going forward. So great question, Rico. Thank you. All right. So let's go ahead. Okay. So for years, I saw this as my biggest failure, right? I let others down basically in this process. But when I started sharing my story and being real and authentic about what my resilience to not give up, something amazing happened. So like the women that started reaching out saying to me, oh my goodness, that was me too. I thought I was the only one. My mess became my message of hope for other women who felt like they were drowning in their circumstances. My pain became my purpose to show women that where you start doesn't determine where you finish. My struggle became my strength, my very foundation of everything I teach about resilience and transformation. Because your story matters, because someone out there needs to know they're not alone in this struggle. Someone needs to see that it's possible to rise above their own circumstances. Someone needs your exact combination of pain and wisdom to help them through. You're basically helping them through their darkest moments that they go through. The world doesn't need another perfect person with a perfect light giving perfect advice. The world needs you, messy, real, authentic you, sharing what you've learned in the trenches of life. All right. So you're ready to start turning your mess into your message. Where do you begin? Okay. First, you got to start with yourself. Journal about your story. Write it down. Like I have my clients, I'll have them journal certain things. Like today I had a meeting with a woman who, it's so funny. I always know God places people in my life for a reason all the time. So when there's a message that he wants me to share, it is very like it's very prevalent, basically. It comes out right then and there. And I'm just like, okay. I always take it with grace because I understand the process. I understand why people show up, in front of me. And so I was talking to this woman and I could see that she was struggling. And the thing is, so many people, put on a facade. They put on this mask of like everything is okay. But in my training as a NLP coach and understanding people's emotions, understanding their body language, understanding that process, I was able to catch it. I was able to support her where she was at this moment in our meeting. And so you never know, as a coach or even someone who's just having empathy for someone else, where you're going to be of support to someone else. So I had no idea that our call was going to turn into a coaching session for her, but I was able to support her through her struggle. And I was able to see that she wasn't doing okay. And so I asked her a few questions, and her responses let me know where she was at as far as like where her mental well-being was. And I was able to then understand why God had given me the words and the message to share with her at that moment. And so this is why I'm so passionate about sharing this. So because at the moment of our meeting, she was taking notes, and I told her, journal about it. Dive deeper into this area, and so much will reveal itself. Because the thing is, if we're not quiet, if we don't take time to pause in this process of life, of understanding, we're not going to hear the messages. We're not going to receive the healing process that we need to go through. Okay. Sorry, let's get back to that because I'm very passionate. And a lot of things happened today. I was in a two amazing meetings. One was a coaching session. One was another woman that I literally felt so connected to because we're both doing the same work. We're bringing joy, peace, love to so many people. And one of the things that her and I are both connected to, but she said it out loud. And I was like, oh, wow, that's the same process I'm doing, but not even saying, like, I didn't even realize I haven't really said it out loud. But it's really bringing men and women together to support one another. Like, because it's like we see the battle of the sexes going on, and that is not okay. So how do we get to communicate to one another? Man and women, there's the men that are in their masculinity, and then in your femininity, there's women that are in their masculinity and not allowing their femininity through. So there's just this process that we get to support one another in. And I'm grateful for these conversations because I know that God always places the right people in front of me when it's time. So when the student is ready, the teacher will show. Okay, sorry. Okay, here we go. So start with yourself, journal about your story. What happened? How did it change you? What did you learn from it? What wisdom do you have now that you didn't have before? And that's what's important, to really understand who you were and who you are now. Because you get to reflect on that and just give yourself so much love and grace for how far you've come. Number 2, identify your audience. Who are you speaking to? Who needs to hear your story? Is it women going through a divorce? People struggling with addiction? Entrepreneurs who failed? Parents feeling overwhelmed? Get specific. And 3rd, start small. You don't need to write a memoir tomorrow. Start by sharing authentically in conversations. Post something real on social media. Offer to share your story at a support group or with a friend who's struggling. And then, of course, 4th, focus on service, not perfection. Your goal isn't to have all the answers or to be completely healed. Your goal is to help someone else who feels less alone in their struggle. And remember, your mess becomes your message when you have the courage to share it, own it, and use it to light the way for others. Because it's going to be a beautiful moment as you do so. All right, my beautiful people. Before I end, I want to ask if there's any more questions, any more thoughts or questions on your mind that I can answer, because I am grateful for you being here today and showing up in your space of growth and opportunity. So let me know in the chat and I will close out my final message. Here's what I want you to remember. Your mess isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of your message. Every struggle you faced, every tear you've cried, every moment you thought you couldn't go on, it all matters. Not because it was meant to happen, but because you get to decide what it means and how it serves others. The world needs your story. The world needs your wisdom. And the world needs what you've learned in the darkness to help light the way for others. Your pain has prepared you for your purpose. Your mess is your message. And your story, your real, authentic, beautifully imperfect story, could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. So stop hiding from your story and start running with it. Because you, beautiful soul, were meant for more. And if you're ready to turn your pain into your power, if this episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your biggest takeaway in the comments. And if you're ready to dive deeper into your transforming story and into transforming your story into your strength, like I mentioned before, book a breakthrough session with me at francinaayala.com/meant for more. Let's turn your mess into your most powerful message together. And then, of course, until we meet again, keep shining your light. But I'm going to drop in that link one more time for you guys to see. And I'll check to see if you guys have any more comments or questions. And if not, then I'm going to let you go to have a beautiful rest of your morning, midday, or evening, wherever you are joining wherever you are joining us live from. That was a bunch of words in one sentence. So thank you guys for being here. I truly appreciate your support. I'm excited for what's to come. And you guys have no idea what is coming even more so. We have a lot lined up for you, and I just can't wait to share it all with you. So thank you so much, and have a blessed one until we meet again next week. Take care. Bye.
I want to get to know what you do, what inspires you, what you enjoy.
My ability to lead really impacts women on a larger level because not every woman has the same story or the same journey. So understanding where they've come from and where they want to go helps me be the leader that I can so that I can show up in a space of authenticity for them.